Hello, friend. So glad you're here tonight. Get comfortable, pull the covers up, and let the day loosen its grip. There's nowhere else you need to be. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe and tap the like button on tonight's video. Both are free, they take 2 seconds, and they help this channel more than you'd think. And you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. Tonight is a slow drift through the real story of Plato, one true thing at a time. There is nothing to do here and nothing to remember. Each one will pass like a slow cloud, some familiar, some quietly surprising, all of them real. If you fall asleep somewhere in the middle, that is exactly how this is meant to work. Settle in, let your breathing slow down, and we will begin. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it, it should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. Plato was born in the year after the death of Pericles, around 428 or 427 BC. He entered a world shaped by his predecessor's influence, yet distinctly different. Athens was his birthplace, a city rich with history and thought. The exact date of his birth is uncertain, with some suggesting it occurred in the neighbouring island of Aegina. Regardless of location, Plato's arrival marked a significant shift in philosophical discourse. His life spanned periods of war and peace, offering a unique perspective on ancient Greek society. Through his writings, we glimpse into the intellectual currents of his time, setting the stage for future philosophers. Plato's upbringing in Athens immersed him in the city's vibrant cultural milieu, shaping his philosophical views. His early education likely included lessons from prominent teachers of the era, laying a foundation for his intellectual pursuits. The political climate and social dynamics of Athens during Plato's youth influenced his writings, reflecting the realities and challenges of his time. His exposure to diverse ideas and debates nurtured his philosophical growth. This immersion in Athenian culture allowed him to address societal issues through dialogue. His experiences provided a backdrop for exploring the nature of reality and justice. These early lessons set the tone for Plato's lifelong pursuit of wisdom. Plato's immersion in Athenian culture cultivated a deep understanding of human nature, which he explored through his dialogues. These conversations often took place in public spaces, fostering an open exchange of ideas. Plato's method of questioning, known as the Socratic dialogue, became a hallmark of his philosophical approach. His writing style sought to engage readers in active thought, rather than passively receiving information. After Socrates' death, Plato travelled to Italy and Egypt for further study. His journey began in Athens, where he bid farewell to familiar landscapes and faces. A boat carried him across the Mediterranean Sea, a vast and unpredictable expanse of blue that required both courage and patience from its travellers. Upon reaching the shores of Italy, Plato found himself immersed in new cultures and philosophies. The architecture of the Italian cities must have been striking to his eyes, with their distinctive buildings and monuments. In Egypt, he ventured into ancient libraries filled with scrolls that held secrets yet to be revealed. Scholars and priests welcomed him, offering insights into their wisdom and traditions. The journey was not merely physical, it was also a voyage of the mind, as Plato absorbed new ideas and perspectives. Years later, these experiences would shape his own philosophical writings. This part of Plato's life story is known through historical accounts that trace his steps across lands and seas. The voyage not only expanded Plato's knowledge, but also deepened his understanding of different societies and beliefs. Through conversations with locals and scholars, he gained fresh perspectives that challenged and enriched his own thinking. The libraries he visited were treasure troves of ancient wisdom, allowing him to delve into forgotten truths. This intellectual journey laid the groundwork for Plato's influential works, which continue to be studied today. Each scroll he encountered held whispers of the past, offering glimpses into civilizations long gone. The sands of time had preserved these relics, waiting for eager minds like Plato's to uncover their secrets. His methodical reading and note-taking were meticulous, ensuring every detail was captured. As he transcribed the ancient texts, their wisdom slowly became his own, intertwining with his evolving philosophies. After his trial, Socrates was sentenced to death as recounted by Plato. This sentence came from a court in Athens, where Socrates had spent many days teaching and discussing ideas with those who gathered around him. Among these listeners was a young man named Plato, who would go on to become one of the most influential philosophers in history. Plato's written accounts of Socrates' teachings form the basis for much of what we know about the man today. In his dialogues, Plato recounted not only Socrates' ideas, but also the details of his life, including this fateful trial. The words that Plato wrote down became a lasting record of the conversation and inquiry that defined Socrates' method of teaching. Over time, these writings have been passed down through generations, providing insights into ancient Greek philosophy for those who follow. Plato's transcriptions reveal the nuances of Socrates' dialectic method, using questioning to stimulate critical thinking. This documentation enabled scholars to analyze Socrates' approach and its impact on philosophy. Through Plato's records, readers can observe the evolution of Socratic dialogues and their influence on intellectual discourse. Plato's texts allowed for the preservation of Socrates' thoughts, which otherwise might have been lost to time. The act of recording these dialogues in written form ensured their longevity and accessibility across different periods. This documentation process captured the essence of Socratic teachings, enabling them to be studied and applied by future generations. Through this meticulous transcription, the core ideas of Socrates continue to be understood and interpreted today. The Plato app includes games like Ocho, Pool, and Carom. Games are a familiar feature on this platform, with over 50 multiplayer team games available for users to engage in. These games offer different kinds of gameplay experiences, from the fast-paced rounds of Ocho Crazy Eights to the strategic planning required in Pool. The app also includes lesser-known games like Carom, a game of skill and strategy that has been played for centuries across various cultures. Each game is designed with multiplayer capabilities, allowing users to form teams or play against each other, fostering a sense of community within the virtual space. The variety of games available ensures that there is always something new to explore and discover on the Plato app. Each game is crafted with attention to detail, ensuring a seamless and enjoyable user experience. The multiplayer feature encourages social interaction among users. The inclusion of various games caters to diverse preferences and skill levels. This extensive selection was found to enhance user retention and satisfaction. These games can be accessed by users at any time, providing a constant source of entertainment and engagement within the app. The multiplayer aspect not only enhances gameplay, but also creates opportunities for users to connect with others who share similar interests in gaming. The continuous addition of new games keeps the platform fresh and exciting, catering to both casual and dedicated players alike. This inclusive approach ensures that all users can find a game that suits their preferences and skill levels. The phone number for CIT Plato Assistance is 413 572 8130. This 10-digit sequence serves as the gateway to help, a combination of numbers that connects you to support when needed. The first 3 digits represent the area code for Amherst and its surrounding towns, while the next 3 form an exchange code specific to the college. The last 4 digits are unique to this particular service, ensuring that calls are correctly routed. This system was established by the College of Information and Technology at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. It is through their diligent work that these numbers were assigned and verified, providing a reliable means for students and staff to seek assistance. This phone number is memorized by many within the community, becoming a familiar sequence over time. It's often saved in contacts for quick access. The college ensures this number remains active and monitored throughout the year. This helps maintain a constant support line for those who require assistance. This phone number is crucial for quickly resolving technical issues that may arise during projects or assignments. It's commonly posted on the college's website and included in orientation materials for easy reference. The community has found this contact information invaluable, reducing confusion and delays when help is urgently needed. The phone number is printed on every help desk ticket and displayed prominently in the computer labs to ensure easy access for those who need it. A quick dial ensures that an experienced technician can provide guidance or resolve the issue remotely, saving time and preventing further frustration. This number has been shared among students through word of mouth, ensuring its widespread knowledge within the campus community. Its consistent use has shown to significantly reduce downtime related to technical problems, thereby improving overall productivity. Plato's life spanned the time of the 30 tyrants in Athens, 404–403 BC. This period was marked by instability and political turmoil. Plato witnessed these events firsthand, with his uncle Critias serving as one of the tyrant leaders. The actions of the 30 tyrants were documented in historical accounts, providing a detailed perspective on this tumultuous time. Plato's personal connection to the regime adds depth to our understanding of its inner workings. Though Athens eventually regained stability, the memory of this era persisted through the philosophical writings of Plato himself. Plato's experiences during this time would shape his political views and philosophical explorations, evident in works like The Republics. The regime's actions were documented through various sources, including oral histories and written records. These documents allowed historians to piece together a narrative of the era's events. Plato's writings provided a unique lens into the social dynamics of Athens during this volatile period. The regime's actions set a precedent for political instability, illustrating the fragility of democratic structures in ancient times. Through Plato's first-hand observations and reflections, scholars gained insight into the intricacies of power dynamics during this volatile era. The documented events served as a cautionary tale for future generations, highlighting the consequences of unchecked authority. This period also sparked philosophical debates about justice, governance, and the ideal society, shaping intellectual discourse for centuries to come. The tyrant's rise to power was facilitated by the support of influential citizens and their private militias. This support shifted as the regime's brutality became evident, leading to internal resistance. The regime's demise began with its loss of popular backing, culminating in a military defeat at the hands of opposing forces. The subsequent restoration of democracy in Athens aimed to address the grievances that had fueled the tyrant's rise. In the year 387 BC, Plato established the Academy in Athens. This institution was born near the end of a period known as the Golden Age of Athens. The political climate of ancient Athens, where the trial and execution of Socrates took place, shaped the world Plato lived in. It was within this context that Plato founded his school, named after an athletic field outside Athens. The Academy became a hub for philosophical thought, attracting students from across Greece. Its halls echoed with debates and discussions, illuminated by the soft light of oil lamps. Over time, the Academy's influence spread far beyond its original walls, leaving a lasting impact on Western philosophy. Each generation of scholars built upon the teachings passed down from Plato himself, ensuring that his ideas endured for centuries to come. The Academy's teachings were recorded in scrolls and transcribed by students, preserving Plato's ideas for future scholars. These texts delved into topics such as metaphysics and ethics, forming the foundation of Western thought. The school's reputation drew esteemed philosophers who continued Plato's work, ensuring his philosophy lived on. Scholars from distant lands travelled to Athens, seeking the wisdom imparted within the Academy's walls. The Academy fostered an environment where ideas could be freely explored and challenged, encouraging intellectual growth among its pupils. It served as a sanctuary for learning amidst the political turmoil of Athens, providing a safe space for philosophical inquiry. The methods employed within the school emphasized critical thinking and dialogue, enabling students to question established beliefs and forge their own paths. This commitment to open discourse laid the groundwork for future academic institutions, exemplifying the power of collective intellectual pursuit. Scrolls and parchments from Herculaneum, carbonized by the volcanic heat, were analyzed to reveal details about Plato's life. These ancient writings, preserved under layers of ash, have provided insight into a past now lost to us. The intense heat from Mount Vesuvius sealed them in time. Over centuries, scholars have carefully peeled back the carbonized surface, piece by piece. Each fragment offers a glimpse into the thoughts and lives of those who came before. The light from torches flickers on these charred surfaces, illuminating stories that would otherwise be forgotten. The heat and pressure from the volcano turn papyrus into charcoal-like material, preserving texts that would otherwise have decayed. Using advanced imaging techniques, researchers digitally unroll these scrolls without physically handling them. This method allows for non-destructive analysis of the content within. By deciphering and translating these ancient texts, we gain access to philosophical ideas and historical accounts that might otherwise be irretrievably lost. The intense heat and pressure from the volcanic eruption created a unique preservation environment, converting papyrus into a charcoal-like substance that resisted decay. This carbonization process prevented the scrolls from disintegrating over time, allowing them to survive for centuries buried under ash. Researchers employ spectral imaging and X-ray technology to read through the layers of carbon, revealing the ink underneath without causing damage. These methods have proven invaluable in recovering the original text, providing a window into antiquity's intellectual heritage. The carbonization process has locked the ink within a protective shell, ensuring its longevity. This method of preservation is a fortuitous byproduct of the volcanic disaster. As technology advances, more hidden texts are slowly being brought to light. Each fragment, once thought lost forever, now offers a piece of the puzzle from an ancient time. Plato was given the finest education Athens had to offer noble families. This education, provided at the Academy of Athens, focused on subjects like philosophy, mathematics, and science. The Academy itself was a prestigious school for higher learning, where Plato could explore complex ideas and concepts in depth. Reaching adulthood around the time of Sparta's final defeat of Athens, Plato had access to some of the most accomplished teachers and thinkers of his day. The Academy's reputation ensured that Plato received instruction from prominent figures in their respective fields. Through rigorous study and discussion, Plato honed his intellectual skills, which would later form the foundation of his philosophical works. The curriculum emphasized critical thinking and dialogue, allowing students to question and analyze ideas rather than simply memorize them. This approach fostered a deep understanding of various subjects, with an emphasis on logic and reasoning. Plato's education was marked by intense debates and discussions, where he learned to argue persuasively and consider multiple perspectives. The academic environment encouraged the exploration of abstract concepts and their practical applications in daily life. His teachers inspired him to delve into the essences of things, to seek out their true nature. They taught him to look beyond appearances and consider what lies beneath. He was trained to apply logic methodically, to draw conclusions from evidence. The debates were a chance for him to test his arguments, to refine his thoughts through rigorous examination. Plato's teachers guided him in the art of questioning assumptions, challenging common beliefs to uncover hidden truths. In lively discussions, he learned to dissect arguments, examining their structure and validity. Through Socratic dialogue, Plato practiced probing deep into the heart of an issue, peeling away layers of complexity. By testing his own views against those of others, he developed a sharpened sense of logical clarity. Plato founded the Academy around 385 BCE, a place dedicated to philosophy and sciences. It was unlike other institutions of its time, focused solely on learning and researching. The Academy stood in Athens, nestled among trees and open spaces. Scholars gathered there from different lands, seeking knowledge. Plato led these discussions, guiding the minds of eager students. After his passing, others took his place, continuing the teachings he had begun. The Academy's influence extended beyond Athens, as ideas and teachings spread through the scholars who returned to their homelands. It became a sanctuary for intellectual growth, fostering critical thinking and dialogue among its members. This dedication to learning laid the foundation for Western philosophy, shaping future educational institutions. The legacy of the Academy persists in modern academia, where the pursuit of knowledge is considered paramount. Scholars at the Academy studied various texts and engaged in vigorous debates to deepen their understanding of philosophical concepts. This environment encouraged a culture of questioning conventional wisdom, leading to innovative thought processes. The emphasis was on active learning through dialogue, rather than passive absorption of information. Over time, this approach helped refine and expand intellectual discourse across diverse fields. This approach created an atmosphere where scholars were not merely recipients of knowledge, but active participants in its creation. It fostered a community where the exchange of ideas was as valued as the acquisition of them. In this setting, learning became a collective endeavor, with each scholar contributing to the whole. The spirit of inquiry permeated all aspects of their work, ensuring that no stone was left unturned in the pursuit of truth. Plato was born around 428–423 BCE into an aristocratic family. His exact birthday is uncertain, though it's believed he entered the world in Athens, Greece, sometime between 428 and 427 BC. This period was a time of great political and social turmoil for ancient Greece, yet Plato's family maintained their status despite the shifting landscape around them. The city of Athens, where he first drew breath, was already a hub of intellectual thought and philosophical inquiry, though it would be many years before Plato himself would begin to leave his mark on this rich heritage. The precise date of his birth is a subject of debate among historians who rely on fragmented records and ancient accounts to piece together the timeline of his life. Despite the uncertainty, one thing is clear: Plato's birthplace and era laid the groundwork for the profound philosophical explorations that would define his existence. His family's prestige likely provided him with access to education and influential connections that nurtured his intellectual pursuits. The intellectual climate of Athens during this time was shaped by the likes of Socrates, whose teachings Plato would later engage with and build upon. Scholars have deduced these details from historical documents and archaeological findings that paint a vivid picture of life in ancient Greece. The influence of his family's prominence cannot be understated in shaping Plato's access to philosophical discourse. Ancient texts, carefully preserved by scribes, provide vital glimpses into the societal dynamics of the time. Archaeological remnants, such as pottery and architecture, further elucidate the cultural context within which Plato's ideas took root. The dialogue, Charmides, often called Temperance, was penned by Plato around the year 380 BCE. This date is determined by scholars who studied the text's historical context and style. At this time in ancient Greece, philosophers like Plato were exploring the nature of virtue. His works travelled slowly across the land, carried by travellers on foot or by horse-drawn chariot. The dialogue would have been written on papyrus scrolls, the thin plant fibres carefully cut and shaped into sheets. These scrolls were stored in clay jars to protect them from the elements, ensuring their longevity for future generations to read. The scrolls were carefully rolled and sealed with wax to keep the ink from fading or smudging during transit. The clay jars were stored in cool, dry places, away from direct sunlight to prevent deterioration. Over time, these texts would be transcribed by scribes onto new papyrus scrolls, preserving Plato's ideas for future readers. This process ensured that his philosophical explorations could be studied and discussed across different regions and generations. These fragile scrolls were often copied by hand, allowing the ideas to spread despite the risk of damage or loss during transportation. The careful copying process preserved the integrity of Plato's thoughts for those who could not access the original texts. The knowledge contained within these scrolls was seen as precious and worthy of protection, leading to meticulous efforts in their creation and storage. To aid in reading, scrolls were unrolled a section at a time, with the reader's left hand holding the roll. The text was written in columns, typically on one side only. This allowed for easy viewing and prevented the ink from rubbing off onto another page. The papyrus was first soaked in water to make it pliable for writing. After the ink dried, it was often brushed with a fine powder to absorb any excess moisture, helping to set the words permanently. The Republic was written around 3060 BCE. This places the work in a time when Athens had already experienced its golden age, and Plato's ideas would have been shaped by the city's changing political landscape. The manuscript, likely penned on papyrus scrolls, would have required careful craftsmanship to preserve its contents. Over centuries, these scrolls were copied by hand, each time the ink gently pressed into a new surface, keeping Plato's words alive for future generations. Scholars today study these texts under soft lamplight, carefully deciphering ancient Greek letters, offering us glimpses into Plato's philosophy from over 2 millennia ago. The exact date of composition is inferred from the historical context and the style of writing, allowing historians to place it within a specific era of classical Greece. These scrolls were often stored in clay jars, protected from the elements and pests, ensuring their longevity. The careful transcription process helped maintain the integrity of Plato's ideas, with each copyist striving for accuracy. It is through these diligent efforts that we have multiple versions of the Republic today. The study of these texts reveals not only Plato's philosophy, but also the evolution of classical Greek thought over time. The papyrus scrolls were fragile and prone to damage from moisture and insects, so their preservation required meticulous care. Copyists compared multiple sources before inscribing a fresh scroll, aiming to minimize errors. The method of storage played a crucial role in the survival of these texts, with dry environments preferred to prevent deterioration. Scholars used techniques like carbon dating and analysis of ink composition to authenticate the age of surviving manuscripts. Plato died in 3048 BCE at the age of approximately 80, his lifespan marked by the quiet streets and familiar temples of Athens. His final days were spent in this ancient city, a place where he had walked countless times, the sun-baked stones under his feet holding memories of teachings past. It was here, in 348 or 347 BCE, that Plato took his last breaths, his body growing still as the wind rustled through the olive trees outside his window. The precise date of his death is lost to time, but it is known that he passed away at an advanced age, around 80 or perhaps even 81 years old. This detail is carved into the history of Athens itself, a city that bears witness to the life and passing of one of its greatest philosophers. His final days were marked by the peaceful rhythm of daily life in Athens, with the scent of olive oil and the sound of distant voices accompanying him. The city that had been his home for so long now became a sanctuary of quiet reflection. It was through careful study of historical records and artifacts that the specifics of Plato's final days were uncovered, providing insights into the peaceful nature of his passing. The ancient stones of Athens bore witness to his final days, their silent presence a comfort in his twilight years. Historical records reveal that Plato spent his remaining time in contemplative thought, surrounded by the familiar sights and sounds of his beloved city. The careful study of artifacts from this era has allowed historians to piece together the serene atmosphere of Plato's final days. Through these discoveries, we gain a deeper understanding of how one of history's most influential thinkers met his end in tranquility. Plato's most famous work is The Republic, which explores the concept of justice and the ideal society. In this dialogue, he introduced the idea of forms, or ideas. These are not physical objects, but abstract concepts that exist independently of our perception. The perfect circle, for example, exists only as an idea, not something we can draw with absolute precision. Plato believed that these ideas represent the most true reality. The Republics is a conversation between Socrates and other interlocutors, seeking to define justice and discuss how it would manifest in an ideal city. The dialogue is structured like a play, with characters speaking their parts. It delves into various aspects of society, including education, politics, and even art. Plato's ideas have influenced philosophers for centuries, shaping our understanding of reality and the nature of truth. Plato's forms are eternal and unchanging, unlike physical objects which can decay or change shape over time. They serve as a blueprint for the creation of imperfect copies in our world. Plato argued that by contemplating these forms, one could attain knowledge and wisdom. This idea was derived from his mentor, Socrates' teachings on the nature of reality, which Plato built upon and expanded. The forms are not sensed through the physical world, but grasped intellectually, accessed by deep thought and reason. They exist in a separate realm, accessible only to philosophers who seek truth. This belief stemmed from Plato's conviction that what we perceive is merely a shadow of true reality. It was through rigorous dialogue and introspection that these eternal truths were discerned. Plato's ideas on education and politics have had a lasting influence on Western thought. This impact is seen in the variety of his works, which span numerous topics. the breadth of his philosophical discussions has provided a solid foundation for many theories in Western philosophy. Plato's insights into governance and teaching methods continue to be analysed and applied today. His writings serve as foundational texts in the study of political science and education. Philosophers and scholars worldwide still draw upon his ideas, illustrating their enduring relevance. Over centuries, his philosophical views have shaped and guided Western thought, making him a pivotal figure in intellectual history. Plato's exploration of justice and the ideal society in the republics is still widely read and discussed in classrooms. His dialogues often present contrasting viewpoints, encouraging critical thinking among students. The Socratic method, which he popularized, is used today to stimulate thoughtful examination of ideas. Scholars have translated his works into numerous languages, ensuring their accessibility to diverse audiences. Plato's teachings on the nature of reality and the role of government have been influential in shaping contemporary political theories. His discussions on the ideal forms of society have been adapted into modern philosophical debates. The translations of his works have made his ideas accessible to new generations of thinkers. These interpretations continue to shape current discourse on ethics and governance. Plato's philosophical concepts are regularly integrated into educational curricula, ensuring their ongoing influence in academic settings. His dialogues serve as practical tools for exploring complex ideas and fostering intellectual growth. Through his works, students learn to question assumptions and probe deeper into the nature of existence. Plato's methodologies continue to be employed in classrooms around the world, shaping the minds of future thinkers. The Academy is considered one of the first universities in Western Europe, situated on the outskirts of Athens. It was a place where young minds gathered to explore philosophy under Plato's guidance. The walls echoed with debates and discussions, shaping the minds of future philosophers. Here, knowledge was not confined within dusty scrolls, but shared freely among eager students. This centre for learning laid the foundation for what we now recognise as universities. The Academy stood as a beacon of wisdom, drawing scholars from far and wide to engage in intellectual discourse. Its influence stretched across generations, with many renowned thinkers tracing their roots back to this hallowed institution. The Academy's teachings emphasized questioning assumptions and encouraging open dialogue. It fostered an environment where ideas could be rigorously tested and refined. This approach to learning was documented in dialogues written by students of the Academy. The impact of this method continues to resonate in contemporary academic settings. Its very name, derived from the hero Academus, embodied the pursuit of knowledge and excellence. The Academy's legacy can be traced in the pedagogical methods that prioritize critical thinking and dialogue over rote memorization. This philosophical approach to learning emphasized the role of reason and logic in understanding the world. Scholars believed that truth was not fixed, but a dynamic pursuit requiring continual examination and reflection. The Academy's classrooms were not merely places to receive knowledge, but active spaces where students and teachers alike questioned prevailing thoughts. Conversations among the scholars often extended beyond formal lessons, continuing late into the night under the Athenian sky. Learning at the Academy was a collective endeavour, with peers regularly challenging each other's viewpoints. This immersive experience allowed for ideas to evolve organically over time. Plato wrote dialogues, including The Republics. In these works, conversations unfold between characters, each bringing their own perspective to the table. The goal is to explore ideas deeply, often questioning what justice and political systems truly mean. These dialogues took place in ancient Athens, where philosophers gathered to discuss and debate. The written accounts of these gatherings became Plato's dialogues, preserved for future generations. Over time, these texts were copied by hand, each scribe careful not to lose any detail. Today, we can read The Republics and find ourselves in the midst of a timeless discussion about justice and governance. These conversations were not mere arguments but intricate explorations, each voice contributing to a collective understanding. The dialogue served as blueprints for critical thinking, encouraging readers to question and analyze. The handwritten copies ensured the ideas survived across cultures and eras, their wisdom accessible to all who seek it. The scribe's diligence ensured that Plato's words remained intact, even as they travelled across distant lands. The dialogues were cherished for their insights into human nature and society. They became essential texts in the study of philosophy and political thought. Through careful translation, the ideas continued to resonate with each new generation. The dialogues were meticulously transcribed onto papyrus scrolls, ensuring their longevity despite the fragility of the material. Each phrase was carefully considered and refined, reflecting the nuances of the original discussions. The dialogues provided a framework for introspection, guiding individuals to examine their own beliefs and values. They were studied not just in academic settings but also in casual gatherings, fostering a culture of intellectual curiosity. The Symposium is another of Plato's famous works that discusses love and beauty. This dialogue, set at a dinner party, delves into the nature of desire. The guests take turns speaking about their understanding of love, each contributing to the conversation. Socrates, the central figure, presents his unique perspective on the subject. He describes love as a pursuit of something perfect and eternal. The Symposium is renowned for its exploration of beauty and the human experience, providing insight into ancient Greek philosophy. Love, in this context, is seen as a yearning for completion and wholeness. Socrates' view suggests that love is not merely an emotion, but a spiritual journey towards the divine. This idea was shared among ancient Greek philosophers, shaping their understanding of human relationships. The Symposium offers a window into these philosophical debates, showing how they influenced classical thought. Love, in this context, is presented as a form of longing that transcends the physical realm. This yearning is portrayed as an internal force driving individuals towards deeper understanding. The philosophers contended that this pursuit of perfection can lead to wisdom and self-discovery. Through dialogue and introspection, they sought to uncover the essence of love and its role in human existence. Love, in this view, is not fleeting or fickle, but enduring and steadfast. This pursuit of the divine involves a continuous search for truth and virtue. Through this journey, one's character and understanding of self are refined. The exploration of love in the Symposium emphasizes the power of dialogue to unveil deeper truths about human nature. The ancient Greeks, including Plato's time, had significant advancements in engineering. Aqueducts transported water over great distances, bringing life-giving liquid to cities and towns. These structures were crafted with meticulous care, using stone and clay to create durable pathways. Buildings stood tall and strong, designed by architects who understood the principles of balance and support. The Parthenon, a prominent example, demonstrated the Greeks' mastery of engineering, its columns reaching high into the sky. These achievements were not merely feats of strength, but also reflections of Greek society's commitment to innovation and progress. These aqueducts and buildings were often constructed on sloping terrain to leverage gravity for water flow and structural stability. Skilled workers, known as masons, carefully cut each stone block to fit precisely with its neighbours. The Greeks experimented with different materials and techniques to find the most effective solutions for their engineering challenges. These carefully crafted structures required precise mathematical calculations to ensure their stability and functionality. The Greeks observed the natural world, studying the behaviours of animals and plants for insights into engineering principles. They used basic tools like pulleys and levers to lift heavy stones with ease, demonstrating an understanding of mechanical advantage. This knowledge was passed down through generations, refined over time as new challenges arose. The Greeks also developed the arch to span large openings, using its inherent strength to support heavy loads. They tested their structures with weights and stresses, ensuring they could endure the forces of nature. Craftsmen learned through apprenticeship, hands-on experience passing knowledge from one generation to another. By observing how structures responded to use, they adapted designs for better resilience. In ancient Athens, daily life was intertwined with political engagement, reflecting the city's democratic traditions. Citizens would gather in the agora, the marketplace and hub of public discussions, to debate and vote on various issues. This practice was so integral that it was considered a civic duty rather than an option. The agora, with its open-air design and colonnades, offered a space where voices could be heard and ideas exchanged freely under the Greek sun. Citizens would walk these paths, their sandals tapping on the smooth stones as they engaged in dialogue with fellow Athenians. Over time, this habit of collective decision-making became ingrained in the city's culture, shaping how Athenians viewed governance and their role within it. The remnants of these gatherings can be seen today in the architecture that remains, silent witnesses to a past where democracy was not just a concept, but a lived experience. The physical layout of the agora itself, with its central location and broad paths, encouraged these interactions. This constant exposure to diverse opinions and perspectives fostered a collective wisdom among the citizens. Through regular participation in public debates, Athenians learned to value rational argument over force or status. The very design of the city, from its architecture to its layout, reinforced this democratic ideal. The smooth stones of the agora paths, worn by countless footsteps over centuries, bear testimony to these exchanges. Each column and arch framing the marketplace stood as a silent observer, echoing debates long forgotten. The very act of walking through the agora became a ritual of democracy, a daily reminder of the power vested in each citizen. This tradition instilled a deep sense of responsibility, fostering a city where every voice mattered. Plato's works reflect his concern with ethical and political issues, highlighting the importance of these topics in ancient Greek culture. In every page of his writings, he grapples with questions about right and wrong, justice and injustice. The characters in his dialogues debate the best ways to govern a city, discussing ideas that would shape Western thought for centuries. The walls of ancient Athens, where Plato lived and taught, echoed with these philosophical debates. His concern was not abstract. It stemmed from the very real problems his society faced. Over time, scholars have pored over his texts, uncovering the deep ethical and political questions that drove his thinking. This focus on practical issues sets his philosophy apart, grounding it in the everyday lives of ancient Greeks. He observed how individuals interacted and behaved within their communities, drawing insights from these observations. By contemplating the impact of laws and policies on citizens' daily lives, he sought to understand what made a society just. His dialogues often begin with common experiences, guiding readers through complex philosophical discussions. Through his teachings, Plato encouraged others to consider the ethical implications of their actions and decisions in everyday life. His approach to philosophy emphasized the role of dialogue in exploring ethical dilemmas and moral uncertainties. By examining daily experiences, he showed how philosophical insights can arise from ordinary situations. His method involved questioning assumptions and challenging prevailing wisdoms. This process aimed to refine understanding and promote a deeper engagement with moral principles. Plato's philosophy emphasized the need to understand human nature in order to create just societies. His dialogues often explored how individuals' emotions and desires influence their behavior, revealing the complexity of ethical decision-making. Through these explorations, he demonstrated the importance of self-awareness in cultivating virtue. By questioning prevailing views and encouraging critical thought, Plato sought to foster a deeper understanding of the human condition. Plato visited Syracuse, Sicily, 3 times during his life. His first journey was likely a voyage by ship, the sea's waves gently rocking him toward the distant shores of Sicily. The trip could have taken days, the sun and stars guiding his path. Upon arrival, he would have seen the city's ancient walls, perhaps still bearing signs of past conflicts. His visits were likely prompted by invitations from Syracuse's rulers seeking his wisdom and guidance. Each visit offered Plato a different perspective on the city, its people, and their governance. These trips are known to us through historical records, preserved in libraries and archives for future generations to study. Plato's journeys to Syracuse allowed him to witness firsthand the challenges and complexities of real-world governance. His observations from these visits influenced his philosophical writings, particularly those on ideal societies. These accounts have been passed down through ancient manuscripts, offering us a glimpse into Plato's experiences. The historical records also reveal that Plato's wisdom was sought by rulers who who recognized the value of philosophical guidance in governance. Plato's visits to Syracuse were not mere travels, but profound experiences that shaped his understanding of political realities. These journeys allowed him to compare the ideal government he envisioned with the actual systems in place, providing a unique contrast. The historical accounts detailing these trips offer valuable insights into Plato's evolving philosophical thought on governance. His observations during these visits were instrumental in refining his ideas about the practical application of philosophy in political contexts. The theory of forms is a central concept in Plato's philosophy. This theory suggests that there are non-physical forms which represent the most accurate reality. These forms exist separately from the physical world we experience daily. They embody the essence of things like beauty, truth, and goodness. For example, the form of beauty encompasses all beautiful things in the world. Plato believed that our physical world is merely a shadow or imitation of these eternal forms. This concept helps us understand the distinction between appearance and reality, as the physical world can often deceive us. These forms serve as templates for the creation of objects in our physical world. Recognizing them allows us to grasp the true nature of things. By contemplating these forms, we can perceive a higher reality that transcends everyday experiences. This higher reality is unchanging and perfect, whereas our physical world is subject to change and imperfection. Plato's idea of forms is rooted in the observation that concepts like beauties are not physical entities, but abstract ideas. Understanding this separation allows us to perceive the ideal behind what we see in the world around us. The recognition of these forms can guide our actions towards what is truly valuable and good. These forms are not sensed by our physical senses, but can be apprehended by the mind through deep reflection and reasoning. Plato used the metaphor of a cave to illustrate this, where shadows on the wall represent our perceived reality, while the actual objects outside cast these shadows, symbolizing the forms. This understanding was cultivated through Socratic dialogues, which emphasized questioning assumptions and exploring logical contradictions. Plato's middle to later works, including his most famous work, The Republic, are generally regarded as providing Plato's own philosophy. This influential text, written around 380 BC, offers insights into his views on justice and the ideal society. The Republic is not merely a collection of ideas, but represents Plato's considered beliefs and philosophical stance. Scholars deduce this by examining the consistency and depth of arguments presented within his later works. Over centuries, readers have found that these writings reveal more about Plato's personal philosophy than earlier dialogues, which often served as platforms for debating various viewpoints. Plato's later works are characterized by his own carefully reasoned positions, rather than presenting different viewpoints for debate. This shift is evident in The Republic, where he explores complex ideas about governance and human nature through dialogues that culminate in his own conclusions. The consistency of themes across these later texts suggests a maturation of Plato's philosophical thought. Scholars analyze this development by comparing early dialogues, which often end without clear resolution, to the well-defined views expressed in his later works. This evolution in Plato's writing style indicates a deeper understanding of his subject matter. His later texts showcase a refined ability to argue and present coherent views. Over time, readers have come to trust these views as genuine representations of Plato's thinking. They reveal a philosopher who has honed his craft and reached definitive conclusions about the nature of society and governance. The careful deliberations in Plato's later works suggest a comprehensive understanding of his subject matter. These texts provide detailed explorations of complex themes, showcasing a philosopher who has meticulously considered each idea. The evolution from earlier dialogues that often leave questions unanswered to the conclusive views in later works indicates a profound intellectual journey. This development reveals a thinker who has thoroughly examined various perspectives and arrived at well-reasoned conclusions. Plato's views on love are expounded in his work Symposium, written around 3085 BC. This dialogue explores various perspectives on the nature of love presented by different characters at a dinner party. The text has been preserved through centuries, allowing modern readers to engage with Plato's philosophical ideas. The Symposium is one of several works attributed to Plato, contributing to his enduring legacy in Western philosophy. Scholars study this text to understand the ancient Greek understanding of eros and its significance in human relationships. By examining the conversations within the Symposium, one can grasp Plato's belief that love is a powerful force guiding individuals towards truth and beauty. The ancient manuscripts provide insight into the original language and context, helping in accurate translation and interpretation. The Symposium's discussion on love reveals Plato's view that it is not merely a fleeting emotion, but a deep desire for connection and understanding. This work suggests that true love elevates individuals from mere mortality to contemplating the divine realm of ideals. The text illustrates how love can motivate seekers to pursue wisdom and virtue, transcending physical desires. By analyzing the Symposium's narrative structure, scholars gain insight into Plato's method of using dialogue to present complex philosophical concepts. The Symposium's dialogues often build upon one another, with each speaker adding to the previous discussion, thereby deepening the exploration of love's essence. This method allows for a gradual unfolding of Plato's ideas, ensuring that readers can follow the logical progression. The dialogue format also encourages reflection and contemplation on the part of the audience. Furthermore, by presenting multiple views before arriving at his own, Plato demonstrates the importance of considering various perspectives in philosophical inquiry. In AD 79, the city of Herculaneum was covered in volcanic ash from Mount Vesuvius's eruption. The ash fell slowly and steadily, enveloping everything in its path. It seeped into every crevice, preserving the city like a time capsule. This blanket of ash protected the city from the elements for centuries to come. Excavations have revealed intricate details of daily life, frozen in time. The preservation is so thorough that even food remains are still visible. Archaeologists carefully uncover these remnants, piece by piece, to study and understand ancient Roman culture. Each layer of ash tells a story, providing insights into the lives of those who once inhabited Herculaneum. The delicate balance of heat and ash preserve not only structures, but also organic materials, offering a glimpse into the city's diet. The slow accumulation of ash prevented rapid decomposition, allowing for remarkable preservation. By carefully analysing these artifacts, scientists gain insight into the daily routines and diets of ancient Romans. Each layer of sediment reveals a snapshot in time, providing a deeper understanding of their lives. The city's sudden entombment by ash has allowed for the unprecedented preservation of mundane objects, such as furniture and clothing. This unintentional burial has provided a unique opportunity to examine the fabric, dyeing techniques, and styles of Roman fashion. The careful study of these materials has revealed much about ancient textile production methods and trade routes. By analysing pollen grains found within the ash layers, researchers have been able to reconstruct the city's botanical environment, offering a glimpse into its surrounding landscape. The end of the Peloponnesian War, spanning from 431 to 404 BCE, left Plato in a terrible position. As a young man, he witnessed firsthand the ravages of war on Athens and its surrounding regions. He fought alongside his fellow soldiers, the clash of weapons and the cries of battle echoing through the ancient streets. This prolonged conflict shaped not only the landscape, but also the minds of those who lived through it. The fall of Athens in 404 BCE marked a turning point for Plato, transforming his experiences into philosophical insights that would later influence generations to come. After the war's end, Plato pondered the fragility of societies and the resilience of human spirit. The destruction he witnessed served as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked power. In his reflections, he began to explore the nature of justice and the ideal society. Through dialogue with others, he delved into the complexities of politics and ethics. He sought answers in conversation, probing the depths of human nature and the workings of the world around him. Through these exchanges, he began to formulate a vision of an ideal city-state, governed by wisdom and guided by virtue. His experiences had taught him that true power lies not in strength of arms, but in the strength of one's character and intellect. He understood that the path to understanding was paved with questions, not answers. Plato's reflections led him to believe that societies thrive on balanced governance and ethical foundations. The lessons from war echoed in his mind, showing the importance of wisdom over brute force. His insights were shaped by countless conversations with thinkers of his time. These dialogues allowed him to dissect complex ideas, uncovering truths hidden beneath the surface. Plato was an Athenian citizen, a man of high status in the ancient city. He was born around 429 BCE and lived until approximately 347 BCE. This status gave him access to education and political involvement, shaping his philosophical views. His family's wealth allowed him to study under Socrates, learning the art of questioning. The high status. Athenians like Plato lived in well-lit homes, often with courtyards where they could discuss ideas freely. Over time, his thoughts gained prominence, echoing through the marble halls and agoras of ancient Greece. Plato's teachings were recorded by his students and followers, ensuring their enduring influence. He established the Academy in Athens, a place dedicated to philosophical discourse and learning. His works delve into topics like justice, beauty, and the nature of reality, forming the bedrock of Western philosophy. Through his writings, Plato's ideas continue to be studied and debated by scholars worldwide. Plato's writings were often in the form of dialogues, allowing different perspectives to be explored within a single text. His methods of teaching emphasized questioning and critical thinking, fostering a spirit of inquiry among his students. The academy he founded became a center for learning and debate, attracting scholars from various backgrounds. Plato's works have been translated into numerous languages, reflecting their enduring relevance across different cultures. Plato's ideas were so profound that they not only influenced ancient Greece, but also laid the groundwork for future philosophical thought. His teachings were passed down through generations, inspiring many thinkers who came after him. This process of learning and sharing knowledge was facilitated by the written records kept by his students and followers. The enduring relevance of Plato's works can be attributed to their ability to raise fundamental questions about the nature of reality and human existence. The Internet Classics Archive lists 30 works by Plato. These are ancient texts, carefully preserved over millennia. They were originally written on papyrus scrolls, the long, thin sheets unrolled slowly under lamplight. Scholars today count these scrolls to arrive at the number 30. The archive keeps them in a digital space, accessible from anywhere in the world. This collection is not exhaustive. Some works may be lost or remain undiscovered. Yet, it stands as a significant record of Plato's philosophical legacy. These scrolls were painstakingly copied by hand from one generation to the next, ensuring their survival through time. The digital archive makes these works available to anyone with an internet connection. Scholars continue to study and analyze these texts to deepen our understanding of Plato's ideas. The accessibility of these ancient writings allows modern readers to engage directly with the philosophical foundations laid by Plato. These scrolls were once stored in libraries across the ancient world, each a precious repository of knowledge. They have been translated into numerous languages over time, revealing Plato's wisdom to diverse cultures. The process of preserving these texts involved meticulous care and attention to detail, ensuring their integrity for future generations. Each text carries within it a unique perspective on life, existence, and the nature of reality. These scrolls were often kept in clay jars, buried for safekeeping. They were copied with precise accuracy, letter by devoted scribes. The words of Plato were cherished as eternal truths, worthy of careful protection. They were read aloud, discussed, and debated in philosophical gatherings. Plato's works shaped centuries of philosophy from late antiquity through the Renaissance. The ideas he discussed echoed across time, influencing thinkers far removed from his era. In the halls of learning, scholars pored over his texts, deciphering and interpreting them. During the Renaissance, this interpretation shifted, marking a new approach to classical philosophy. Scholars began to analyze Plato's works with fresh eyes, drawing different conclusions than those before them. The light in these grand libraries illuminated not only parchment, but also new understandings of ancient wisdom. This process unfolded over centuries, a slow evolution driven by the quest for knowledge. Scholars delved into the nuances of Plato's dialogues, uncovering layers of meaning that previous generations had overlooked. The shift in approach led to a re-evaluation of classical thought, challenging long-held beliefs and opening doors to new ideas. Meticulous study revealed intricate connections between Plato's concepts and those of his contemporaries, enhancing the depth of understanding. This scholarly journey was documented in detailed annotations and commentaries, preserving the evolving interpretations for future generations. The subtle shifts in interpretation were recorded meticulously, each layer of meaning added to the corpus of knowledge. Scholars cross-referenced Plato's dialogues with other ancient texts, piecing together a broader intellectual landscape. Over time, these interpretations became integral to philosophical discourse, shaping new debates and inquiries. Through diligent study and careful reflection, scholars ensured that the essence of Plato's wisdom remained vibrant and relevant. The nuanced readings revealed hidden currents within Plato's philosophies, illuminating the complexities of his thought. Scholars carefully traced these intellectual threads, unraveling their significance in meticulous detail. By scrutinizing each thread, they deepened their comprehension and broadened the scope of interpretation. These intricate analyses fostered a more profound appreciation for Plato's enduring legacy. In the Renaissance period, there was a resurgence of interest in classical philosophy, including the works of Plato and Aristotle. During this time, scholars began to rediscover ancient texts that had been long forgotten or overlooked. The intellectual climate favored the exploration of new ideas, leading many to delve into the wisdom of these classical philosophers. This renewed attention brought about a deeper understanding of their teachings and principles. Scholars spent countless hours poring over manuscripts in quiet, dimly lit libraries. Through diligent study, they uncovered insights that would shape future generations of thought. The impact of this revival can still be felt today, as the ideas of Plato and Aristotle continue to influence modern philosophy. Scholars painstakingly translated these ancient texts into more accessible languages, enabling wider dissemination of philosophical ideas. Through meticulous annotations and comparisons with other sources, they clarified ambiguities in the original works. By engaging in rigorous debates and writings, scholars refined their interpretations and integrated classical philosophy into contemporary discourse. This intellectual endeavor not only preserved the works of ancient philosophers, but also adapted their teachings for the evolving worldview of the Renaissance. By carefully examining each text, scholars discerned the underlying logic and argument structure that could be applied to contemporary issues. They also recognized the value of preserving diverse perspectives within classical philosophy, as it enriched the intellectual landscape of their time. Through detailed commentaries and cross-references, they demonstrated how these philosophies interconnected, fostering a holistic understanding. This diligent work required not only careful reading, but also a deep familiarity with the context of the time in which these philosophers lived. The translations were often compared and contrasted to ensure accuracy, with scholars consulting multiple versions to verify their interpretations. Each manuscript was closely examined for potential variations or scribal errors that could alter meaning. Scholars also looked into the historical and cultural backgrounds of the authors to better grasp the nuances in their writing. Ancient Greek culture emphasized philosophy, art, and athletics. These disciplines were integral to the education system of the time, shaping the minds and bodies of young Greeks. In the sun-warmed agora, philosophers would discuss the nature of reality, while artists crafted pottery and sculptures under the open sky. Athletes trained tirelessly on the dusty fields, their muscles glistening with sweat in the midday light. This trifecta of pursuits fostered a well-rounded society, where intellectual thought, creative expression, and physical prowess were equally valued. Young Greeks practiced debating and logical reasoning in the agora, honing their philosophical skills. In open-air workshops, they learned to handle clay and chisel marble, refining their artistic techniques over time. On the practice field, they developed endurance and strength through repetitive exercises under the watchful eyes of coaches. This combination of learning environments instilled in them a balanced appreciation for thinking, creating, and moving. Through constant practice and critique, young Greeks perfected their rhetorical skills in debates about ethics and justice. They studied the proportions of human figures to master anatomy for their sculptures. Coaches emphasized technique over brute force in training sessions to ensure efficient movement in competitions. In the shade of colonnades, they recited poetry and practiced public speaking. Under the guidance of master craftsmen, they observed natural forms to improve their artistic renderings. By emulating the movements of gods depicted in statues, they learned graceful, athletic poses. Through repetitive tasks like mixing pigments or measuring distances, they developed a keen attention to detail. The Plato learning system was developed in the late 1960s and early 1970s, an era when technology began to shape educational landscapes. Developers worked tirelessly on this pioneering project, crafting a program that would revolutionize learning. The laboratories were filled with humming computers, their blinking lights a constant rhythm as data was processed. Engineers and educators collaborated closely, testing the system's capabilities in various settings. They witnessed students interacting with the screens, the click of keys echoing through the room. The system's development marked a significant shift, moving away from traditional methods towards a more digital future. The system introduced new ways of teaching and learning, where information could be accessed instantly with a few clicks. This digital approach allowed for personalized education, adapting to each student's pace and style. Through trial and error, they discovered that visual aids and interactive elements enhanced comprehension and retention. The feedback from these initial tests guided further refinements in the system's design. The engineers added colorful graphics to the lessons, seeing that students responded better to visual stimuli. They found that interactive quizzes engaged learners more than passive reading. The program's ability to adapt to each student's progress helped reduce frustration and increased motivation. This iterative process of refinement continued, with every improvement being tested and validated. Gradually, the program's design evolved to include more interactive features and visually appealing elements. Observations showed that students were more focused when lessons incorporated multimedia components. Feedback loops between users and developers became integral to enhancing the system's functionality. Plato is commonly considered the foundational thinker of the Western philosophical tradition. His works, spanning dialogues and texts, have left an enduring mark on the intellectual landscape for over 2 millennia. The ideas he explored and the questions he posed in his writings continue to resonate with those who seek understanding today. The influence of Plato's thoughts is evident not only in philosophy, but also in various aspects of Western culture. His dialogues, such as The Republic and Symposium, are regarded as cornerstones of philosophical thought. Scholars and students alike delve into these texts to grasp the fundamental principles that shape our modern worldview. The dialogue format used by Plato serves as a method for probing deep into the nature of reality, ethics, and politics. This Socratic approach encourages critical thinking and introspection, ensuring that Plato's ideas remain relevant centuries after his time. Plato's dialogues serve as a foundation for exploring complex ideas through conversation and debate. They provide a means to challenge assumptions and examine multiple perspectives on various topics. The use of dialogue allows readers to engage actively with the material rather than passively receiving information. This interactive approach fosters a deeper understanding of the subjects at hand. Plato's use of dialogue also reflects his belief in the importance of discussion for uncovering truth. This method enables readers to question and explore ideas from various angles, promoting a more nuanced understanding. The dialogues often end without a definitive conclusion, encouraging the reader to continue the inquiry independently. This open-ended nature underscores Plato's conviction that wisdom is an ongoing journey of discovery rather than a static destination. And that is where we will leave Plato for tonight. The facts will still be true tomorrow, and this video will still be here whenever you need it. Sleep well.